Hello? Yeah. John? No, Baggy Hi-Fi? No, no. I think you got the wrong number there. Okay. No, no problem. Okay. Bye, bye. Right. Sorry about that. Hi there. Martin here, Vinyl Scavenger, back again. Hope you're all okay. So, got a lot of ruddy sort of £1 fines to go through here. A couple of interesting stories, couple of interesting different things to show, I suppose you would say. So without further ado, I will crack on. Hope everybody's keeping well. Um, I'm okay. I'm all right. Filming on a laptop today, so let's see how that goes. Um, yeah, right. Okay, so first thing was Alan, Static Traveller, who some of you know with his puppet show, Spinal Tap first and puppet show later. He played a month or two ago a 78, and it sort of captured my imagination a bit, as I think quite a few people it did. So lo and behold, I looked on cheated and looked on eBay and found a copy for under 10 quid. So it's called Jailbreak by the 1953 Super Rhythm series, number 19, Humphrey Littleton and his band. The A side is Shake It and Break It, but it's the B side that I wanted it for. And jolly fine it is too. I think in the comments I wrote something about it sounded a bit like some sort of Portishead Adrian Utley sampled something or other. And I put it in a sleeve. This is like where I sort of vaguely used to live. Yeah, I have no recollection of this shop here. I'm not that old. Um, yeah, so I found a nice sleeve to put it in. Anyway, that is that. That's 2.5 minutes gone already. We'll move on to the 7 inches. I will zoom through them as much as I can. Yeah, definitely 7 inches are on my agenda and have been probably now a couple of years, I suppose. I mean, maybe they were, but they were less sort of prominent. Yeah, so I just had my eyebrows have been tidied up, but they still look a bit crazy as per usual. Yeah, a place where I go, something very amusing happened. I can see it now. So there I was looking through the albums in a charity shop, thrift store, whatever you want to call it. Anyway, um, I'm looking out the window like John Downing because uh, yeah, nothing happening there. Anyway, so suddenly out of nowhere, a guy came in and proceeded to take everything from these shelves that were under my um well, with my legs underneath, sort of like two shelves there were. Anyway, and I thought, didn't think too much of it at the time. I just thought he was having a look at it, but it turned out he came along and bought the entire lot. Obviously, like some sort of, I wouldn't say dealer, a trader. I would say he was a trader. He was taking them up to London or something. Because this shop it's sort of quite easily accessible on a main artery road. You could probably just drive down, get everything, and apparently he does it every Wednesday, which I wasn't aware of. So now I'm aware of that. I think I got most of what I wanted before, and he got told off, and then I just thought, just don't bother. It's not worth having a creating a scene for it. So first record I'm going to show is a 7 inch, a spoof record to a real advert. So it's Vincent Lachat, and it cost me 49p. It's uh, Nourris Moi Bébé. So apparently there was a Sheba cat advert in the UK a few years ago. I sort of remember it, and I sort of remember this. So they've made a record out of it. Just yeah, just to parody French singers, I suppose. Yeah, it's yeah. Seduction Odyssey on the B side, and side A is called Feed My Baby. Yeah, Nourris Moi Bébé. That's French, isn't it? Postcard with it there. So that was quite amusing. So yeah, I haven't played it to our cat yet though. Here was a 50. These are all 50p or a pound. I can't remember now. This is OMD DEP2. Side one introducing radios. Distance fades between us. Side two progress and once when I was six, live at the factory and at Henry's. 1980. I'm guessing this was given away with the album or something, or it's just something or other. I think I had another OMD single here somewhere that was quite rare, or possibly quite rare. We'll come to it. Here's Eddie Cochran, My Way, Rock and Roll Blues. A Transvision vamp on a budget here. Crusty Transvision vamp. This is Daisy Chainsaw, Love Your Money, this is a good punk pop sort of single from 90 something, 91. Okay. We've got a Jefferson Airplane, two tracks off Surrealistic Pillow. We've got White Rabbit and Plastic Fantastic Lover, middle cutout. This turned up yesterday. Rich Cat, Poor Cat, Bernard Vaber, narrated by Ian Wallace, music composed by Larry Adler. I've no idea what this is. It's supposed to be a book with it, but there's no book with it. I'll go through these quickly. Bananarama single I'd never seen. Couple of Marillions. Funboy Free with the Urdu version on the B-side, Our Lips Are Sealed. Soul to Soul, Keep on Moving. Telegraph, OMD, Genetic Engineering. Yeah, this is the one I was talking about, I think. It's limited edition, Junk 1. The Angels Keep Turning, The Wheels of the Universe. And then on the B-side it says, do not play this single. I think it's just a tone pitch. Another one there, OMD. And another OMD. And some Duran Duran 7s. I know that the 12s have longer mixes, but I just saw all these singles, so I picked them up. This has got Steve Harley come up and see me on the B-side live. Ha, Take On Me. Tears for Fears Change. Another Bananarama. A couple of Ravi Shankar 7-inches. Thought that was quite unusual to see those. And next to those, there was a single called Beirut, capital of Lebanon, not the more recently named Beirut band. So we've got 4 tracks: Soad, Hashem, Rin and Rinda, 2 by each of those artists. This is Travel Guides to Faraway Romantic Places on EP. London, Tyrol, Scotland, Ireland, Yugoslavia, Berlin. Yeah. And then just a couple more. I've got Give Me the Love I Need, Part 1 and 2 by Chandelier on Aristo Records out of New York. And The Gates of Eden, In Your Love, and Snoopy versus the Red Baron. So that's 7 inches. That's taken 9 minutes. Right. The other important thing I have to show you is a Grail. So I contacted, through a friend of a friend, Ben at Plastidisc. Here he is. And here's his card. He's done lots of pressings on his lady. Says plastidisc.com. He does one-offs, short runs. It looks like he did Warrington Runcorn Newtown development, third phase of, I can't quite read that. I need reading glasses these days. He did that, and he's done a couple of other albums there. So he said he hopes that they're going to be okay. So finally, as a present to myself, I did some of my tracks on record, just on a plain record, and I couldn't think what to call it, so I called it The Early Years. they are sort of tracks that I did ages ago. In fact, I think the first couple of tracks I did was like, oh, probably about 12 years ago now. I think I sort of started. So it's part one, part two, and it worked out about, I think they worked out about 10 quid each, which isn't bad really, you know. And he on his website explains the process and how some other, you know, lathe cuts or acetates work and how he does his process, and it's actually quite interesting. And I'm pleased with those, and so I've got my Grail, my own Grail there, and I might well just keep them all. I don't know yet. I haven't decided. Right, onto the £1 fine. So these were from the same place where the person snuck in and took a whole load of swag that I was just talking about earlier on. I went back there this week, and well, I think most of them were from there. There was a whole load of stuff, and there was a guy there who'd just taken some stuff in. I've met him. He's got his own FM aerial, in fact, and yeah, um, he was sort of slightly advising me. Some of them are a bit more like sort of jazz, easy listening. Um, I don't know about exotica, but that is certainly the sort of stuff that this guy's into. So as much as well as Jacob, Dulles Open Mic are helping me with my country deficit. Is that the word, deficit, or insufficient country in my collection? Some of this stuff is similar. Uh, I've been lacking, you know, and I've got some spaces now. So, you know, here is Schoenberg and Birtwistle. Birtwistle, that's a good Lancashire name. I think he's from Lancashire. That's why I'm saying that. And this is on a Dutch Philips label. It's got a lovely this kind of inner on it, like that. Don't know anything about that. Just grabbed it because I thought it looked better than 99p, to be honest. As with this, did almost think that was Ian McKellen in Lord of the Rings with his "None Shall Pass." It's a prodigal son. Music under the direction of Benjamin Britten, and I dare say, yeah, a good old Peter Pears will be on there. It's on Decca. Yeah. Okay, so that's that. This album I've seen many times, but because it was £1, I thought I would go for it. I've heard many amusing stories about this album with its Chuck Berry cover version on there, and that he didn't write the songs. He didn't produce it. Produced by Pete Bellotti. This is a polygram. Looks like a Spanish or Portuguese pressing. Um, yeah, why not for a quid? Who's gonna argue? Here's another quid one. Yeah, this was from a record shop actually. Sandy Nelson with some drummers only music and strippers only music. Bits and bobs on there. Uh, I'm not sure I can say this name. Majek Thashek. So I believe this is a South African artist, and I think it is sort of Christian, sort of maybe reggae or Rastafarian pop. 50p find there. Um, yeah, it's got a couple of psalm quotes there, and Jah Elohim, omnipotent, omniscience, omnipresence. Yeah, uh, yeah, on Sony. This is an Irish record about how to lose weight, devised by a medical practitioner. You all need to lose a bit of weight. Monty Python. Not so familiar with these Monty Python albums. I know the hits, I suppose you would say. Yep, that's that. Right, it's quite a big pile here, so it's going to be a long video. The Golden Striker, music for brass and piano on London Atlantic by John Lewis. It's mono. I've no idea what it is, but it looked interesting. Nice medieval picture on the cover. Ah, write the theme tune, sing the theme tune. Dennis Waterman, and it says on the back here, closed courtesy of Levi Strauss Limited. Here it is on the back on a bench. Thinking about Terry McCann or Arthur Bailey, I suppose. What a mullet! He's got a mullet, hasn't he? He's got a balding mullet. Uh, this is somebody called May McKenna. I know very little about this as well. This is 1975. It's transatlantic, it says, but it's not a transatlantic label. I know. No, it's on Pi. Okay, Pi transatlantic. Yeah. Well, some covers on here and such like. I actually think that this is, I think I said in a previous video that somebody does this in a charity shop near me, the other side of the town where I live to where this is. And this very much looks like this is their work. And someone's bought that for £4 and been hugely disappointed with it. So don't feel so bad having it for £1 now. Jacob, hello, Jacob. I have some records to send to you, as I do a couple of other people. Um, this one I really, really wanted to send you, and then I played it, and unfortunately I decided to keep it, mainly because I think this is the inspiration for the Fast Show character um, who does a sketch called Country Matters, and his name escapes me for a minute. Anyway, it's Adge Cutler and the Wurzels, and it's a live gig. There's some very unpolitically correct jokes on here, and yeah, Bob Fleming, that's the guy. Coughs, splutters. Yeah, I'm guessing that this was the inspiration, as this is a West Country folk pop sideburn rock, I guess. So I'm keeping that. Sorry, that was just great. Yeah. Next we have some authentic sound effects. Yeah, lovely. Uh, Goodness me, this is going to be a long video. Music at Midnight, Carmen Cavallaro. So these are all £1, and I have no idea about them apart from this guy that was there that was explaining them to me. Piano solos with rhythm accompaniment. Yeah, Brunswick. And then we've got some Newfoundland, which I believe is in Canada, I think. Certainly distributed in Canada by London Records. Some folk, or maybe even, sorry to say, Native American sort of music on Rodeo International. It says traditional on some of them, so yeah, I know little about that as well. Just looked interesting for a quid. Uh, Days of Wine and Roses, Don Costa and his orchestra, not Don Costa that drew Scrooge McDuck, a different one. Love these old covers. Uh, I'm still looking for Spanish things to sample for my next vinyl scavenger project, which I've sort of nearly done. So that's the only reason I bought Julio Iglesias, because I think I might be able to mix that in there. He's cheesy, isn't he? He's so cheesy. Yeah. On a similar vein, or just looked interesting, Nat King Cole Espanol. There he is, on holiday with his camera. I suspect he would be a bit warm in that cardigan and jumper and hat, though. Uh, this doesn't look like Spain at all, although it could be. It could be Andalusia, I suppose. But this is EMI, Canta en Español, el idioma del corazón. An orchestra from Cuba, I think. Yeah. Okay. South America again. Can't remember. Was this guy from Colombia? Now, I thought this was just a regular harp, but it is some sort of Colombian stringed instrument. That's a harp, isn't it, really? Yeah. And it's Spanish. Estereofónico. Count Basie and his orchestra, mono. Let's try and whiz these through a bit. Random records in this selection. M People. Don't like her voice. Maybe I can sell it. I'll try it. I've become more open-minded recently. Paul Hardcastle 19. This is a guy called Carl Denver, who I thought was a folky sort of guy. Maybe this is quite folky, but the cover does not suggest that. It suggests, well, he looks like he's having a good time there. Coming to a damsel in distress on the merry-go-round. It's with love, so love can only win, can't it? There we go. And we've got a bit of Tom. Don't really see nice Tom in good condition for a quid, like that kind of thing. Look at that English countryside before people started throwing rubbish on it. We've got Sabrina Johnson, Peace, Peace in the Valley, Peace in Your Soul, I think she sings. Then we've got the Norman Luboff Choir. I love some of these covers, they're just so great, iconic. My problem is with this sort of music, am I going to like 800 different cover versions of the sort of songbook songs? I'm not sure yet. Let's see. Here's some Shelley Main. My mum's got one of his. Peter Gunn and Other Themes. Goofing at the Coffee House. I did previously think this might be worth something, but I was totally wrong. It's as bad as it looks. Look at those shoes. City in England there before there was lots of rubbish in it. Well, I presume that is. Uh, well, I'm sure you've heard of him. If you've heard of Small Faces, you'll know Stanley Unwin. So this is him doing his Spoonerisms stories. It's on pie purple or violet claret. And there is the gent himself. Don't think I've ever seen that. Certainly not for £1. Somebody called Patty Page. Know nothing about her. Yeah, see here she's doing songs that maybe I would know, like Route 66. I presume that is the Route 66 song. April in Paris, south of the border. Let's see how that turns out. We've got Dr. Murray Banks. Psychologist. Not sure I'd trust him. Okay. Titan of the Tuba. Joe Tarto. Very old. 1920s recordings, maybe. I'm not sure. Pretty old. Anyway. Sealed copy. So here's one for Jacob here. I have no idea what this is, but it was sealed. It looked interesting for a quid. And it has got appearing counterfeit of our labels: George Harrison, Leon Russell, Tom Scott. Yeah, why not? Ventui Lang, 1927-1928. I don't know what this is at all. Okay, it's a violinist and a guitar, basically. And we've got this. History of Jazz. Right, let's try and speed up. Ferrante and Teicher. US Mail? You asked for it? Strangers in the Night. See, these sort of songs. Let's see how we get. You Don't Have to Say You Love Me. There's bound to be a Beatles one on there, isn't there? No, maybe not. No. Cartoon, the main theme from the film called Cartoon. I have no idea what that is. Mm. There's some of their own compositions on there, so they've made the effort. And we've got Lawrence Welk and Dave somebody or other. Dave Pell, is that? Dave Pell. Champagne Time on Spectrum Records in Authentiphonic. Phonic. That would be terrible, couldn't it? A few more to go. Ruby Braff double. June Christie, Gone for the Day. Very interesting haircut going on there. Yeah, that is a fringe, isn't it? I mean, you have to get the ruler out for that, or the protractor right angle. Well, I've had this in the past. I don't think I've got it at the moment, but it is pretty funny. I suppose in some way it's a bit dated, but I don't think there's anything that's going to offend anybody there, unless there's any communist Khrushchev fans. No, I think that's pretty safe there. Uh, Harking back to Jacob again, I think somebody said that Pat Boone was half decent early on. So this is a double record on compilation on Dot Records 1976, but it's all early Pat. There he is, looking shiny. Plucked from obscurity, apparently, from a talent show. Dance with the Shadows. Different sort of shadows on this. There's Hank there, and the three other blokes. And a 12-inch called Take Me Away, J. Mondi, on a totally unknown label, Dance Record 1991. Stylistics. I mean, how many times have you seen this? And I've never grabbed it, but it was a good copy of it. And lastly, we have Jackie Trent, Tony Hatch. This was recommended while I was pottering. Apparently they were married. I don't really know what it is. I mean, Tony Hatch's very famous for British TV themes and such like, and her, I don't know. Not sure who she is really, but we shall soon find out. It's on Marble Arch. Yeah, there we go. So I hope that's fun. That's a very long video. Um, well, thanks for watching. You know, um, yeah, let's see how this turns out. And shout outs to all of you. I did just watch the what is a Grail, and it was a live video, I think, and it was Stunty, Jonas, and Michael 45, and they all have very different ideas about things. And shall I just say, maybe two of them were talking more sense, I thought, than the other. But it's all about opinions, isn't it? So, yeah, they all had different sorts of grails. Um, yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching, and possibly see you in your videos. I've made it under 30 minutes. Congratulations.